Alright, let's talk, shall we? There's this massive controversy around Hogwarts Legacy right now. In case you are somehow not in the loop, uh, J.K. Rowling is the one who created the Hogwarts universe. She's also been known to state some rather, shall we say, controversial things. Opinions that not a whole lot of people agree on, shall we say. And there's a lot of people right now who feel the need to speak out in defense of one community or another because they think they have this moral high ground or the moral superiority or whatever the fuck it is that they want to try and say. I'm here to tell you that you're all fucking wrong and that not a single fucking one of you knows goddamn anything about what the fuck is actually happening. This person, I don't know who the fuck it is. I just, in pulling up some things for this video, hers was one video that I found. And as you can see, she's basically telling you to go pirate the game. Now, before we get into the specifics of how making a video game works, about how publishing a video game works, and before we even get to how fucking royalties work, which none of y'all motherfuckers seem to understand or want to do any kind of fucking research on, we need to talk about piracy. Because anyone who goes to try to pirate this game, you can be subject to thousands of dollars in fines for simply pirating it and potential jail time. So don't go and fucking pirate it, because that's the dumbest fucking thing you could possibly do with your life. Now, piracy. Let's talk about it, shall we? The law in the United States, which, by the way, Portkey Games, which is owned by Warner Brothers, is in the United States. So if you are also in the United States, this makes it extremely simple to prosecute you. Unauthorized copying is against the law. Copyright law protects the value of creative works. When you make unauthorized copies of someone's creative work, you are taking something of value from the owner without his or her permission. Most likely, you've seen the FBI warning about unauthorized copying at the beginning of a movie DVD. This is on every fucking movie. This is in the fucking theaters. No one can say they haven't seen this. If you're in the United States, you've fucking seen this. I guarantee it. Okay? Though you may not find these messages on all compact discs or music you've downloaded from the internet, the same laws apply. Federal law provides severe civil and criminal penalties for the unauthorized reproduction, distribution, rental, or digital transmission of copyrighted sound recordings. Title 17 USC sections 501 and 506. Now, if you're not inside the US, like this individual is, she's actually in the UK. I assume it's supposed to be a she anyways. My apologies if it's not. Again, I don't know who the fuck this is. It's just someone's video I came across because they're trying to say that you're transphobic if you buy the game. That's a whole nother can that I'm not even going to try and get into. So if you're in the United States, following this person's advice and downloading it illegally can result in criminal penalties. You can be thrown in jail. You will have your entire life completely fucked if you attempt it. Don't do it. Not worth it. What the law says and what it means. Making unauthorized copies of copyrighted music recordings is against the law and may subject you to civil and criminal liabilities. Now you say, oh, this is music. This applies to fucking everything. It applies to everything. This is basic copyright law. Okay? Basic ass fucking copyright law in the United States. This applies to everything. A civil lawsuit could hold you responsible for thousands of dollars in damages. Criminal charges may leave you with a felony record. accompanied by up to 5 years of jail time and fines of up to $250,000. So don't be like this stupid bitch and go and do illegal shit, because I guarantee you the UK has exactly the similar laws about copyright and whatnot, and about what you're gonna do, what they're gonna do if you get caught pirating it. Which, by the way, not that hard to track you doing it. It's really not. All of your internet activity is logged by your ISP. It's not that hard to track what you've been doing. It's not that hard to find out that you fucking illegally downloaded something. It's really fucking not. Now, aside from that, let's talk about royalties. Okay? So for video game publishers, okay, this would be Warner Brothers. They get between 10 and 20% on average. This is because they put up all of the money to actually make the game. How much did Hogwarts Legacy cost to make? It's estimated, estimated right here to have been around $150 million. Okay? Now, at $60 a copy, $150 million, that means that in order to break even, it has to sell 2.5 million copies to break even. And generally speaking, until they break even, J.K. Rowling isn't gonna see shit, because the publisher wants to make sure they actually make their money back. They want to make sure that they're gonna get refunded the money that they just fucking upfronted you. Okay? So they're gonna make sure they get their money back. Now, how do royalties work? We've got a couple different things here. This one right here, great answer. It depends on the terms of the contract between the publisher and the developers. It's very unlikely developers get royalties unless they negotiate a percentage of every sale. They are usually given a budget in advance and are awarded bonuses based on hitting milestones, attaining certain scores on Metacritic or sales. Okay? This one down here, any and all of the above. When my wife was an independent contractor on the Sierra Online in the 1990s, she received royalties based on net income from sales. That means that the company subtracted the cost of manufacturing, shipping, and promotion of each unit sold. They did not subtract anything based on development costs. Okay, so it was quite possible for them to lose money on the game, but still pay royalties. Okay, keep this in mind. She also received monthly advances against royalties. This had no effect on her first 5 games, as the advances were small and the games were developed quickly. Quest for Glory 5 took more than 3 years to develop, so she received more advances for that game. While it came close to breaking even, she did not get any royalties for QFGV, or Quest for Glory 5. Don't know who this is, never played the game, never heard of it. Still very, very good. Now, here's another one that 99% of you dumb motherfuckers don't even know about. Royalties are percentage of the profits. Of the profits. This is what applies to J.K. Rowling, because she is not a publisher, nor is she a developer, nor did she have any direct interaction with making any part of this game. So all of her royalties come from the profits. Okay, which means if they're not breaking even, they have no profits. Which means J.K. Rowling gets fucking nothing. Learn how royalties work before you go and be like, oh, J.K. Rowling's gonna make all this money. Oh, you're supporting her. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything. You don't. You're just a fucking idiot. They're based off sales numbers, i.e. how many units the game sold. The percentages paid are different for each deal. One deal may be worth 30% of net profits, and while another one may be worth 10% of the first dollar, meaning they get 10% of the gross sales. This happens once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon, which means J.K. Rowling is exceedingly unlikely to have that second deal, which means she is more than likely getting it from the profits, assuming the game has sold 2.5 million copies. Spoiler alert, it hasn't. It's also just the same one. And as others pointed out, they have to wait 90 to 100 days for your cut to be paid under normal circumstances. How long has it been since Hogwarts Legacy came out? Sure as fuck not 90 to 180 days, which means J.K. Rowling hasn't seen a single fucking penny, even if they've started to make profits. Like, holy shit, you people really don't fucking understand anything. Let's go down to another one before we go on to the other three things that I have up here. This guy, a game developer from 1979 to the present, okay? We would get approximately monthly milestone payments based on our finishing some key portions of the game. Also, we would earn bonuses for on-time and first approval. Nintendo approving our game on the first submission, for example. Now, just to stop for a second, Nintendo. Nintendo is bigger than Warner Brothers. They're bigger than fucking Portkey Productions, okay? Massively so. Even they work like this. Then, once the game was on sale, we would earn a per unit royalty. But they were allowed first to recoup all previous payments to us before royalties would actually kick in, which means they had to make back all of the money that they just put into it before they got to see a single penny. Payments would trail by months. Let's say we finished Q4 of 2019. Okay, this is actually extremely recent now. So now you don't have anything to fucking try and argue against. They would have 90 days or more to add up the sales, then pay us after that. Very often, the publisher would come back to us and ask for a one-time reduction in the royalty rate for a large deal with a major retailer. One thing to keep in mind, that companies, including publishers, go out of businesses and then you and your royalties are in line with all other creditors. Now, obviously, they're not going out of business. It's still something you should fucking know, though, if you really want to try and fucking argue that J.K. Rowling is making a fucking cent, which she hasn't, because the game hasn't sold 2.5 million fucking copies yet. Now, indie versus game publisher. So developers need publishers. The publisher covers all costs. And this is one key reason why game developers enter contracts with publishers. Now, this is a little bit different than if you were an indie because Portkey Games is owned by Warner Brothers, which means Warner Brothers is both the developer and publisher of the game, which means all those royalties the publishers would get might not actually matter because they're a part of Warner Brothers. Okay, now they might not necessarily, they might still require royalties. I don't know exactly how that studio works. However, this is how a game developer publisher relationship works. Okay. Also, the only reason Rowling is getting anything is because she developed the fucking world of Hogwarts. I guarantee you that if they had used, if they changed every single name that had to do with the Hogwarts universe and left literally everything else alone, just the names, not a single one of you motherfuckers would have said shit about the game. Not a single motherfucking one of you. Not a single motherfucking one of you would have said shit. Not one of y'all. This is one of the key reasons why game developers enter into contracts. At the same time, the publisher takes a share in the royalties of developers until budget invested in the game is recaptured. Yet again, we have it said loud and motherfucking clear that they don't pay out any other royalties until they have recouped what they invested. What percentage do game publishers take? The size of the royalty is typically between 10 and 20%. This is the Publisher, not Rowling. Rowling didn't publish it. Rowling didn't develop it. Rowling had nothing to do with the fucking making of this video game in literally any fucking way. She doesn't get 10 to 20%. She just doesn't. It's not how it fucking works. After the publisher has recaptured the costs, the team begins to receive the first deductions. At the same time, the publisher's expenses for the game may not pay off if for some reason the community does not accept it. Now, over here, they're saying that it's breaking records before official release despite the controversy. Why? Because it's fucking Hogwarts, and controversy fuels this shit. If you don't believe me, look up the Barbra Streisand effect. You say something, you say you don't want people to do it, and then people go out and they fucking do it. In fact, you don't even have to look at that. You can look at your fucking child or any kid. You go and you tell them that not to go outside and not to go play in the mud. And you know what they're going to fucking go do? They're going to go outside and they're going to go play in the fucking mud. Why? Because you just told them they're not allowed to. This is how the fucking human brain works. You tell someone not to go do something, so now they're more inclined to go and fucking do it. Had you not said shit, it wouldn't have been this fucking dramatic or bad, and 99% of people wouldn't have even fucking cared. It already broke record on Twitch as being the most watched single-player video game played by streamers who got the game early, and it's #1 pre-sale this week on the gaming platform Steam. Quote, open world style games are open world style games are a really big deal in the game industry. Someone from a school of business stated, who was formerly a CEO of Games Market Research for super data research. So, you know, they kind of know what the fuck they're talking about here. The expectations are quite high, not just from the consumers, but also from the game makers themselves. Now, there are people that are like, oh, well, even the developers don't want to buy it. The fucking developers get the game for free. They fucking made the game. They don't need to buy it. They know everything about the game. It's not an argument. And I've got a couple of more arguments for y'all here in a moment. Don't worry. Okay. Now, over here, in this one, biggest Harry Potter launch of all time. That doesn't necessarily fucking matter because it hasn't been a true Harry Potter game in a really long time. At least not one that's been, like, good and exciting to actually hope for. And this one, the report reveals that Hogwarts Legacy has sold 64% more copy than the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone from 2001. This is a grossly overinflated exaggeration because, like, we are almost 21, 22 years past that. There are a lot more people alive nowadays. So, yeah. The report also outlines that compared to Elden Ring, which is the biggest fantasy release of 2022, first week sales of Hogwarts Legacy were up by 80%. The first week. This is comparing the first week of Elden Ring to the first week of Hogwarts Legacy. Okay? It's not saying all of Elden Ring sales compared to the first week of Hogwarts Legacy. Don't get this shit twisted. I know some of y'all motherfuckers are gonna try. During its launch week, Hogwarts Legacy peaked at 879,308 concurrent players on Steam, making it the 8th highest peak game on Steam. In addition, the game's 5th biggest paid game, the 3rd biggest primary single-player game, and the 2nd biggest game for single-player only, behind Cyberpunk 2077. Okay? Warner Brothers Discovery has confirmed that its next quarterly earnings report will be published on Thursday, February 23rd, roughly 9 days or so from the time I'm recording this video. at 1:30 p.m. PT, 4:30 ET, blah 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 blah. So we'll undoubtedly be getting official earnings on Hogwarts Legacy once once that has come out. Now, this controversy is one of the dumbest fucking controversies I've ever seen on the internet. And I've been on the internet for a really fucking long time. I've seen some really fucking stupid shit, okay? Now, just to real quick get this out here, all I'm going to say is I'm not going to believe, or rather, I'm not going to listen to what people say after y'all's generation are the ones that went out and ate fucking Tide Pods, okay? Tide Pods is what y'all's generation have been eating. It's fucking laundry detergent. That aside, though, let's assume you're not in that category, all right? Let me ask you this. Are you a cis white person? Shut the fuck up if you are. I'm a cis white person. I don't have a stake in this fight. I don't have a stake in this argument. I'm coming at y'all to tell you how it actually fucking works in the game industry. Because y'all motherfuckers are stupid. Like, actually fucking stupid. Because you don't know what the fuck is actually going on. You just don't. You have no idea and you have no care to try and figure it out. Okay? Now, let's assume that this number is 1 million. Okay, let's assume that the total number for the first week was 1 million people bought Hogwarts Legacy. Okay? That means that it's not even halfway to recouping its money. Not even halfway. Let's assume, here, in fact, let's look up how much the deluxe version costs. Okay? Let's go and look up that. The deluxe version, Hogwarts Legacy, let's say PC, Steam. Okay? So we'll go to Steam. Oh, look, $70. Okay. Let's assume all 1 million people bought the deluxe version, which we know for a fact didn't happen, okay? That would be 70 times 1 million. That's how much they've made. Non-profits, gross. Which means they haven't even come close to this other figure. Like, so here I've done some math for y'all because I know y'all can't do research, can't read, etc., etc. So I'm making it a little bit easier for you, okay? Let's assume that they've made $200 million in the first week. Let's just make that assumption, okay? Well, now Rowling can start making some money. That means that they have $50 million in profit, going on the higher end of royalties, which is 10%, because Rowling is claimed to make generally more than the average. So we'll say 10%. That'd be about $5 million she gets, which leaves Warner Brothers Studios and Portkey Games with $45 million. This, of course, is assuming they made $200 million on the first week, which they did not, because even at 1 million bought copies in the first week, this isn't happening. They're not making 150 million off just 1 million sales. It's not something that's possible. It just isn't. Even at $70, it wouldn't do anything. If you include the Dark Arts pack, I mean, if you were to buy the base game and then buy the Dark Arts pack, which I don't know why you would, why you wouldn't just buy the deluxe edition. If you were to do that, that would be $80, and even then, you're still not getting to 150 million off of a million sales. That's just not how math works, people. But I hear you say, oh, but Rowling's still getting $5 million. That's a lot, and that supports transphobia. Let's assume that she put all $5 million directly to a anti-trans movement, specifically, not just like a company that has anti-trans views, but like legitimately a company that's actively going against it. Because that's what that one lady was claiming, is that that's what she's doing, is throwing money at those kinds of companies. So let's assume that's exactly where she puts all $5 million from. Every single bit of penny that she got from this game, let's assume that's where she puts it. Okay, let's just assume that's where she puts it. Okay? So fine. All right, I hear you say. Here's my question. Blizzard makes year over year millions of dollars, has a reputation for blatant sexual harassment in the most vile degree, is known to have had at least one person literally commit suicide because of it on a company trip, has people in their HR department and in their executive department that literally have a suite they call the Cosby Suite. And their CEO knew about all of this and told anyone who came forward to go fuck themselves. And is still the CEO of Blizzard. And World of Warcraft, Modern Warfare, for all the Call of Duties, Diablo, Overwatch, all still raking in hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars year over year. Not a single one of y'all motherfuckers that's speaking out against Rowling have said a fucking word about that. Not a fucking word about the fact that CEO Bobby Kotick is still the CEO, the one who knew about all that shit going on, the one that encouraged it. Not a single one of y'all motherfuckers is calling him out. Not a single motherfucking one of you. Ubisoft, EA, both known for their exceedingly toxic environments. Riot Games. League of Legends is still one of the biggest esports. Not one of y'all motherfuckers is saying shit about that. Valorant's still making massive money. They're making new games. Not a single one of y'all motherfuckers has said shit about them. And I can keep going on. But, you know the real nail in the coffin? Okay? Since y'all really want to try and destroy people's livelihoods, mind you, that you have no right to even comment on. No right to comment on. Let me ask you this very, very simple question. Do you support Ukraine? Do you denounce Russia's invasion of Ukraine? Because let me fucking tell you right now, if you do, you are the fucking epitome of the enemy to the trans people. Not just the trans, but the LGBTQ plus community. Why? Go look at Ukrainian laws. You want to be gay or trans over in Ukraine? Well, that's a crime. That's a crime. You buy any Chinese products? Any Chinese products. You want to know what China does to people who are trans or gay? You don't. You really don't. In fact, ignoring all that, let's talk about the Uyghur genocide that's happening over there. None of y'all motherfuckers are saying shit about that. All y'all motherfuckers are still out buying Chinese-made products. Why? Because you like them. The new iPhone, the new Android, the latest thing that you just have to have that costs thousands of dollars. The new sweater that says made in China. The new polo. The new this, the new that. Take your fucking pick. If you want to actually sit here and stand up for any one singular possible community, do your fucking research. And then voice your disdain. And stop buying any product that has any tie to it. Once you've done that for any community, I don't give a fuck about what community it is. Take your fucking pick. Once you've done that, then you can try to start dictating other people's lives. And I don't know if this is in the video or not, but just in case I missed it, I just want to say this one thing. To those of you out there that don't want to buy the game for this reason or that reason, fine. For those of you out there that want to hate on J.K. Rowling for this reason or that reason, I fucking encourage you. However, one thing you are not allowed to do is break the law. You want to sit here and say that you hate Rowling because she's vile and vitriol and disgusting, and the language she uses is vile and vitriol and disgusting. 90% of you motherfuckers that are saying that are then going right behind your own motherfucking words and using the same type of vile, vitriolic, and disgusting language yourself. You are a straight person. You have no stake in this fight. End of story. Your opinion does not fucking matter. It doesn't. End of story. The amount of toxic, hypocritic horseshit that people have been spewing lately, just because people want to enjoy this fucking game. I don't understand it. Most of you motherfuckers haven't even played the game, and you're sitting here saying that the game itself is transphobic. Serona Ryan is a fucking name. You know how many people have two first names? I have an uncle with two first names. The simple fact that people want to try and boycott this game and then go after someone else because they're doing, as they claim, whataboutisms. and then go and do whataboutisms themselves is just fucking. It's mind-bogglingly retarded. I've rambled on enough. I truly have. This game is absolutely fucking amazing. I love playing it. I've got fucking almost 35 hours on it. This is the first game I'm going to 100%. I'm going to do everything there is to do in this game. And it's specifically because people want to try and call me transphobic for simply buying this game. For simply buying it. If you have a game from Ubisoft, or EA, or Activision, or Blizzard, or any of the other AAA developers that have had these fucking disgusting controversies, you own a single fucking game from them, fuck you. I have been the DM. Still am the DM. Will always be the DM. This is my corner. I say what the fuck I want on my channel. And I speak my mind. I mean what I say and I say what I mean. Fuck J.K. Rowling. Fuck all you people trying to weaponize transphobia and try and fucking blast streamers for simply playing a fucking game. Fuck all you transphobic bitches. And fuck every single one of you motherfuckers that dares to try and tell me how to live my life.